Super Tuesday played out a lot differently than many polls predicted that it would. Joe Biden winning big in key states, but Bernie still says he's in it to win it.
Yeah.
And here's how they both reacted last night. Take a look.
To those who've been knocked down, counted out, left behind, this is your campaign. Just a few days ago, the press and the pundits had declared the campaign dead, but it's looking good. So I'm here to report we are very much alive.
When we began this race for the presidency, everybody said it couldn't be done. But tonight, I tell you with absolute confidence, we are going to win the Democratic nomination.
Oh, you.
Yeah, joining us now to talk about the biggest takeaways from Super Tuesday, please welcome ABC News Chief, White House correspondent, and really good guy, Jonathan Karl.
Thank you.
So I was gonna start by asking about Biden's big win, but just a few minutes ago, Michael Bloomberg dropped out of the race and is endorsing Biden. I have to say,
He said he would do it.
you know, $500 million later, I mean, are you surprised?
$500 million to win American Samoa. That's the only contest he
They're
won.
really good delegates. They're very enthusiastic.
they're great. He won them.
Got some numbers in other states.
No,
It
he
wasn't
no,
completely-
no,
was
no,
like
no. He did
Napa.
get some numbers, and look, if he hadn't had that
Well,
disastrous
period.
first debate, maybe this could all be different. But he only got into this race because it looked like Biden was imploding, and it looked like Warren and Sanders were on the rise, and he wanted to come in and make sure that a centrist who could attract voters who voted for Trump would
He said
be the
that.
candidate. Yes.
He said
Well,
that.
I'm glad he did. Thank you for doing it, Michael. I'm glad you did. I'm glad we're not sitting here saying, oh, my God, when is he going to get out?
And he said he was
a
still
lot
going
of-
to give money to down-ticket candidates.
But yes, and a
Oh,
lot
he's
of-
got an operation built. I mean,
Yes.
he's going to be. I mean,
His
this is
headquarters,
the
right?
biggest super PAC of that we've ever seen.
Fantastic. I'm sure Trump is quivering in his jot furs, whatever those things are. he wears.
Well, John, we have to move on about Biden's big win last night. And I have to say, this group of people at the table rarely agree on anything, but we were all holding out for Biden and said not to count him out, to the point that all the women on the show have gotten a lot of criticism because we've said don't count him out. It's like the one thing that's really united us. So the View was a little right, just saying.
There you go.
What do you think of the thoughts on his big comeback? I never thought to doubt him because America loves him.
Well, look, this is the biggest.
person.
This is the biggest political comeback, the most blindingly fast political comeback at the presidential level that I've seen in my lifetime. I mean, your father's in 2008 was something, but it took a lot more time. This was overnight. And look at it. If you looked at polling a week ago, you could have seen a scenario where Bernie Sanders would have won every state on Super Tuesday. That's where we were heading. And he came back. South Carolina was obviously a big part of this, but he came back without campaigning in some of the... Minnesota, this is a state that Bernie Sanders trounced Hillary Clinton in 4 years ago. Joe Biden did not set foot in Minnesota. He didn't spend $1 in advertising in Minnesota,
They
and
have
he won.
there, and she was
did.
very instrumental in getting Minnesota for
But it's
him.
interesting
Beto.
that
Good for
Ilhan
her.
Omar couldn't bring out the vote for Bernie there. And it just shows that a national candidate like Amy Klobuchar ultimately meant more.
Yeah, and Klobuchar clearly was a factor. I also see the work of Barack Obama to a degree on all this. If you look at what happened over the last few days, a lot of the people closest to Barack Obama came out and supported Joe Biden, his former national security advisor, his former chief of staff,
Susan Rice.
his
That's true.
former UN ambassador. And also, he spoke to both Mayor Pete and to Amy Klobuchar after they lost. We don't know a lot about the conversation they had, but what we know is they quickly got on board.
They did. And